I don't care about your political views. I don't care about you, being against ACA. Like, hey, you have your political views, you have your people who have some, you want to do what's best for your constituents. However, making this guy a god, making this guy a king, you can't continue that. And I think that's where the Democrats have to draw the line. It's stop talking about Trump. Talk about everybody in the GOP and like, okay, are you still supporting this person? How can you, knowing the decisions that he makes? Because Trump, he's on an island by himself. Call it Trump Island. But, they can spin it. Hey, we can't talk about it. He's a president of the United States. Hey, he was on an island with Epstein. Now are you on the island with Trump? What up, what up, what up, what up? It's Three Brothers No Sense, your favorite barbershop style podcast. It's your boy Ferg, joined my co-host Buff and Rozzy. Fellas, what it do?
Hey man, why did RFK do that? Why he roll out when that dude passed out? Like, why he do that, dog?
He's not a doctor.
Why he is not a medical professional.
Like he's dipped. He dipped like he was with a side chick, and one of his wife's friends walked in there. He's like,
no,
why he do that, man?
he dipped like he a drug addict that somebody else then OD'd and he got to get the fuck out of there. That's what he dipped like. He knew that whole scene. He's like, oh shit.
Gotta go.
Like everybody's talking about how weird the president was, just like standing there, which it was weird. Like somebody passed out, you just standing there. But I think we losing sight. I didn't even know RFK could move that fast. He got the hell up out of there, man. That was hilarious, bro. Look, if they wasn't causing so much pain to so many different people, this would be one of the most comical administrations in the history of administrations, man. But unfortunately, a lot of people will or are suffering from decisions this administration has made, man. So, but I had to laugh at that. I think I brought this up last week, man. But Being Eddie, the documentary on Netflix dropped, and several times throughout the history of the show, I have said how I think Eddie deserves his flowers, and I stated the reason why, man. And I felt like that documentary did that, so it was cool to see that. See how much he did so young, man. He was so young when he, like, a lot of his prime, like, funny movies are, like, I want to say before he was 25, which is crazy, man. So it's really good. So check that out if you're an Eddie Murphy fan or a fan of any of his movies. Being Eddie is currently airing on Netflix. The only other thing I got, and Rozzy, you probably can speak to this even more. Wooisms was named, I think, Omega of the Year for his chapter.
Omega Man of the Year.
Omega Man of the Year. So, man, congratulations to, I want to call them like our brother podcast, Wooisms. Make sure you check them out. Also on Contentville via Inspire You on Air. But, yeah, man, I feel like that was a big deal. He deserves to be celebrated. He's a good dude. And I don't know what it takes to get Omega Man of the Year, but I feel like he deserves it without even knowing the parameters.
Yeah, so it's an awesome award, man. I mean, it's some chapters have over 1,000 members or whatever, and all of them out there doing great things in the community and everything like that. And for the brothers to just kind of look at him and just be like, "Yep, you're the man that's doing all the things in the community, that's supporting the fraternity, supporting the chapter." Woo, you guys know he does a lot with the Lamplighters. I think he holds office in the chapter. He's out in the community. I mean, he's doing what he needs to do. And so, yeah, definitely shout out to him. It's a huge accomplishment, a huge honor.
Yeah. Congrats, bro. You deserve it.
Yeah, man.
Proud to say I know you.
Yeah.
If you say it out loud, I'm going to deny it, though. I'm going to deny that I said that.
Yeah. So all I got, man, a couple things in investment news. Anybody who knows that our logo is a Funko Pop, that is the kind of the brand that we use to create our logo. Funko, the company that owns Funko Pops and sells all of those, is going bankrupt. and they're blaming the economy. They're blaming the tariffs. They're blaming just the softening of the like collector's market and that type of thing. People just aren't buying the Funko Pops as much anymore, and because their spreads getting thinner and thinner because of the tariffs and all of that. So they are on their way to bankruptcy. They said that they probably have another quarter, and they probably will end up going bankrupt. And hopefully that'll be able to turn everything around. So one more thing that we can shout out Donald Trump about is causing Funko Pop to go out bankrupt with a lot of other companies. Jobs reports came out, or maybe came out. They're saying that they are not going to release the unemployment numbers for October because they just don't want to. Ultimately, they're like, the shutdown has caused it. They can't collect the numbers, but that's just BS. They essentially don't want to put the unemployment numbers out there right now. So, Ferk, see face, what's up?
ADP does the
they have the so ADP will release it, but there is an official government report that comes out after the ADP report. But and sometimes they're off. It's based off the ADP, but they have other things that they look at. Like ADP is following, but the government actually knows how many people file for unemployment and everything like that, versus ADP looking at job starts and job and everything to talk about the unemployment. So it's a little bit different data. They usually come out about the same, but for the government to say, yeah, we're just not going to release the official data behind it, that's a problem. That is a huge issue. And I've seen big swings in there. Like ADP will be like, oh yeah, unemployment fell, and then the government will be like, no, it didn't. Or based off of the actual unemployment numbers, people actually applying for the unemployment benefits. So it can be different. It's usually not much difference, but even with that, it's just sad that the government's essentially saying, you know what, we're just not going to put data out there. If it's not flattering, if it's not good for Donald Trump, we're just not going to put it out there. So we'll see how that ends up. Only other couple things, man. The iPhone users out there, and Buff, I know iPhone users are real bad about having functionality that Android's had for a long time, and then we get excited about it because we get it. But they just announced that on iPhones, you can actually put your passport on your digital wallet now, and it'll actually work at some airports, your larger ones, Boston Airport, NYU, or in New York, Atlanta. So you don't have to actually dig your passport out. You still need it to like move through countries, but you can use that your actual digital wallet at those locations, and you don't have to dig out anything. You can just use your phone with your digital wallet. So it's pretty cool for folks who fly a lot, want to use their passport, maybe don't have a real ID like me. I haven't gone and got the real ID yet for the driver's license, so I use my passport when I travel. So that's kind of cool that I can just add it there, and then I can just use my phone. So cool on that. Can you do that on the Android? Do you know if you can do that on the Android already?
That is a Bruce question. I don't. Okay. I just be talking mess, dog. I don't be knowing what these phones can do for real.
We got to check. I'm gonna have to check with Bruce on it. Yeah. So, and last but not least, man, Cardi B or Offset might be the daddy. So you guys know Stephon Diggs and Cardi B. They have a baby on the way, or they just had the baby, or something like that. I don't keep up with it like that. But the funny part about it is, in Georgia, the father is automatically assumed to be the parent of the child if you're still married. And since Cardi B and Offset are still married in Georgia, Offset is officially the child's father until Stephon Diggs takes a DNA test and proves that he's the father. So for right now, Offset is the daddy. So kind of, funny legally on there. But that's all I got, man. That's all I got. I shouldn't know this. Is that what it is, Ferk?
Well, that's part of it. I don't know what gossip magazine you getting on your iPhone. But yes, you can use a passport on your digital wallet for Google devices.
Okay.
Cardi B, Offset. Who cares? I'm so over them. I'm just, they're just stick to making music.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just gonna glance over everything that's in the news with Trump and Epstein and all that stuff. Okay, just all right.
Hey man, I wanted to give a shout out to Wu. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted to do, bro.
We got emails, dudes.
We got emails. We got trunk sucking.
And we just gonna act like that's every day. Just every day. Right.
Hey, big beautiful Bill took on a whole new meaning.
I'm just saying. Just you know what I mean? So, and we just gonna. I mean, I'm at the point. I'm like, is this fake news? Is this an AI generated post? Is this something that you can't take? So we got.
It's so funny though to see the defections on the Republican side now. That as things are coming out, they've got the resolution, so a vote has to come up on the release of the Epstein files, which I think Johnson said that he's going to bring that up next week. And if he brings it up now, a bunch of Republicans are jumping on, like saying, "I'm going to vote to release it." They've been fighting to release it this entire time, but now they're going to vote to release it. But you're starting to see all these defections of people pushing back on Trump now and almost emboldening themselves, because I think they know that once the Epstein files come out, Trump's gonna be dead politically, and if that's the case, now they're starting to get some balls and they're starting to go against him a lot more. So you're saying lot of folks.
Let's stray away from using certain words. Balls for one of them. In this current political climate, we don't want to accuse anybody of anything. I saw Buff's face when you said that would be the death of Trump. Is that the line?
I saw a meme that was like, "Is this the final straw or the final nail?"
Pedophilia and potential homosexual acts. Is that where they draw the line?
We have seen in the past homosexual acts at least cost some politicians on the right their career. However, 45/47 is uniquely different from all of those. I can't say for certain that if he's in the files and we know for a fact that he was with underage girls, I can't say for certain that that's the death of his. I mean, you already got Megyn Kelly saying
Megyn R. Kelly.
That's saying 8, that's bad, but 15, I mean,
I think yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There was a young lady who made a post who was 14, almost 15. She's like, it's like, what are you talking about? Like, it takes a kid to call you out on this.
And we still try to be nice when it comes to this. So we say sex trafficking. It was rape. A child cannot consent with an adult sexually. It's rape. And underage girls, they're kids. They're kids. So 15, 16 kids. So we need to be more forceful with our language. But, all this, sex trafficking and underage teens. No, man, say what it is. So
underage teens is a new one.
I don't know if that's the death for him politically, to be honest. I really don't.
Well, I think he loses some of his political power. I think it gives people a reason to. I think it weakens his base.
And also, if say he's in it, and I don't want to put a name on it, but just say a prominent politician on the left is also in it, he's just going to deflect to. I mean, that's kind of what he did with the whole grab him by the peas. It was like, well, if you ever heard some of the stuff Clinton said to me on the golf course, it was just as bad or worse. So he'll
probably so.
He's already doing it, right? He's like, DOJ, go investigate JP Morgan and Bill Clinton and people on the left and everything like that. So he's already kind of teeing up that exact thing to say, just deflecting, well, I'm going to go after them and try to get dirt on them. And you shouldn't be looking at it at me. I'm innocent. And he even put himself in. He was like, there's so many people in there that are innocent like me, and that are going to be hurt over this.
Can I just get ahead of this? And let's just say for the sake of argument, it does become the death of him politically. I don't care if he goes down. I don't care how he goes down, when he goes down, if he goes down. If he goes down, it's still going to be a sad moment in our political history where we witness for 10 years prominent, respected politicians who excused, ignored, and just flat out emboldened this type of behavior from this man who has literally used the DOJ as his own personal weapon. and among other things that he's done. It's a sad moment in our political history, and I don't think, even if the left gets the victory the victory they finally want, where he goes down and he's completely embarrassed, and you start having politicians apologize for even supporting him, and that's like best case scenario. It won't erase this sad moment that we've lived through since 2015, to be honest.
Well, Buff, I agree with you 100%. You know what's even sadder? If this comes out and they continue to excuse his behavior. That's the biggest fear of mine. It's just like, where
because it's possible, right?
Yeah, definitely is.
It's more probable,
probably
than
likely.
Possible. Yeah, it's more probable than likely. My hope is his base is going to. There's people on his base that are going to defend him 100%. But then I think he's going to lose some people, and there's at that point it's too much to defend. It's like, well, he's doing stuff. He's saying he's real. He says stuff we all want to say. Okay, he's raping underage kids. I mean, he's raping kids, not underage kids, right?
Yeah, kids.
He's raping kids. He's taking advantage of them. From my understanding, I got to do more research, but he's had multiple civil lawsuits in the 90s around childhood or pedophilia. I just saw something on that earlier today. I got to do some more research, but allegedly. But this isn't the first time. The Epstein tapes files going to be damaging. If this Bill Clinton thing is true, I mean, it's just too much. The fact that we're even having this conversation about the leader of the free world.
And I think Democrats or Republicans try to deflect and be like, oh, well, Democrats and this and Bill Clinton's in there, blah, 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 blah. But it's very easy for us to say, hey, if they're in there and they did it, they should go to jail. They should be held accountable. Like, I don't care if Bill Clinton's legacy is ruined or whatever because of this. I really don't care. If he's in there and he did it, he should be going to jail or held accountable. However, we're going to hold him accountable. Because you got to think about it. They don't send everybody to jail for rape today, right? When they can't prove it. So, let alone being in the file and not having no true evidence or nobody's coming after them, right? The whatever girl that they were with doesn't come forward and say, yes, I'm going to testify. So then it becomes all circumstantial. So there are going to be a lot of people that are named in that nothing actually happens to them. But I want them to be held accountable no matter who they are. Right. And that's, I think, the part where when you say they'll excuse it, that they'll ignore the people from the right, and then try to go after the people from the left. And that is the misnomer in it all. Like, if they're in the file, we should all go after them the same. The other part about that, though, is you have to think about the worst case scenario for Trump is he doesn't run for this third term that he's talking about, because they're not going to impeach him. They're not going to actually put him out of office for it. They're going to be like, well, that has nothing to do with the civil, that's a civil thing. And maybe even the statute of limitations, criminals not going to be blah, 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 blah. And so he didn't do anything while he was a president, so we're not going to impeach him. So I really doubt they will bring anything to impeach him, even if he is in the file. So he's going to finish out his term more than likely. If he finishes out his term, then what ends up happening is he just doesn't do the third term, and he continues to go on. He's going to get away scot-free on that. So that's the other part about the Democrats definitely have to try to take back the presidency or the executive branch, because if not, then whoever Republican that comes in isn't going to charge them. They're going to be like, DOJ, don't charge them. So
best case scenario, he loses power. I mean, like his
I think he loses political leverage. Yeah, I do think more people, like I was saying, more people starting to push back against him. I think that's what happens. I think the court stopped being scared of him. I think, especially if the Democrats take over the House or whatever, where he doesn't have the full legislature anymore, it does stall his presidency and all this craziness that he's doing right now.
With that being
that's
said,
about it.
With that being said, I think the Democrats, the best thing they can do for this or with this is to come up with a campaign around GOP politicians and saying, hey, your legacy starts now. So now that you have this information, do you continue to kowtow to this pedophile, this scoundrel, whatever you want to call him? He's a president. But if you continue to bend over for him and support him no matter what, I can't blame you when you thought he was an upstanding man, quote unquote 2 days ago. But now that we know he is a certified, there is evidence that he was sleeping and molesting and raped all these people. Are your eyes open? Are you going to take a stance? I don't care about your political views. I don't care about you, being against ACA. Like, hey, you have your political views, you have your people who have you want to do what's best for your constituents. However, making this guy a god, making this guy a king, you can't continue that. And I think that's where the Democrats have to draw the line. It's stop talking about Trump. Talk about everybody in the GOP and like, okay, are you still supporting this person? How can you, knowing the decisions that he makes? Because Trump, he's on an island by himself. Call it Trump Island. But, they can spin it. Hey, we can't talk about it. He's a president of the United States. Hey, he was on an island with Epstein. Now are you on the island with Trump? But tell that to your people. That wasn't a question. It might have been a question. I don't know what the hell, but I just know we can't continue this day, and we're just gonna act like the president might end up. So you can bleep that out, Raz.
Only the part.
I mean, even if it's untrue, I mean that's a hell of a rumor.
Right. But usually, and I was like, how anti-LGBTQ he is. Most of the loudest anti-LGBTQ people are closeted gay anyway. Like, you only care that much because you're self-hating, self-loathing. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, you are mad because you have these feelings, and so you're going to make everybody else pay for it.
Well, I mean, in today's world, anytime you disagree with anybody, you gay. So that's just, especially women, right? So that's the quickest way. So, Trump, hey man, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Big beautiful bill. Let's go. Who want to go first?
Who didn't get a question last?
Who didn't get a question?
I mean, I had first one.
I think Ferg didn't.
Yeah.
I have a question. I have two. Give me 1 second. I'm about to send y'all something real quick. So, when you made your comment about those who, kind of go after, LGBTQ community the loudest, usually have some kind of self-hate, whatever. It made me think about this post I saw a couple of weeks ago. And I'm not here to talk about, gay or anything. The latter part of when he was talking about us hijacking the term mental health, where anytime there is a disagreement or discomfort, we lean towards the term, protecting my mental health, protecting my peace, and all that stuff. Are we overusing that word for anything that we don't find in agreement with our daily life? Because now it's almost like a fad to me. We hear, like woke 10 years ago is different than the definition of woke today and how they've changed it and all that stuff. So what are your true thoughts on what mental health is and how should we be using it and how should we avoid using it? Because I think as we downplay it, it can be more dangerous for those who really need mental health assistance.
Yes, I do think it's overused, but I don't think that's any excuse to dial back how much we discuss it, talk about it, and recommend it to people. But it's like anything good or bad is going to get overused over time, especially in the social media world that we live in. I think it is overused because I feel like when you're going through real mental health, I think, and there's always exceptions to the rule, but I think for the most part, it's usually difficult for us to admit it at first. So it's not something you're just going to readily admit, oh man, that messes with my mental health, man. I can't do that. It's like, I don't think that's how it comes about on a natural basis. It's usually something that you deal with. Sometimes you can figure out, you probably can't even put your finger on it. And then you realize, so Razi has said on his show that he has an issue with crowds. And I'm sure, and Razi can obviously, he can speak for himself and speak to this, but maybe the first time he was uncomfortable in the crowd, he didn't necessarily know why, and then over time he realized it. The way we use it now, like you said, Ferg, in a fad, it's just a way to say I'm protecting my peace and all these other things that we overuse. But
I don't like it.
Yeah, but in this case, man, I actually don't care that it's overused. Mental health is so important. We talked about this last week. We just saw a young football player who plays for arguably the most famous team, not football team, most famous team in sports, who had arguably his best game 3 days prior, scored a touchdown in a primetime game, took his life. We've seen Anthony Bourdain, who had arguably one of the coolest jobs in the world, where he got paid to travel and eat. Like, two of the things people say helps with their mental stress is traveling and eating at different places. He got paid to do that, took his life. Kate Spade has one of the top recognizable brands in the world, took her life. Mental health is serious, dog. And people take their life behind it when they run out of ways to deal with it or feel like they're hopeless. And I'm in a field as a police officer where we have the highest rate of suicide of any job profession, and I've lost colleagues to it. So it's serious, and yes, it's overused, but for those that feel that way, don't let that discourage you from recommending it, talking about it, seeking it, and everything else that comes with it, because it's too serious. Like, the pros and cons of continuing to overuse it are like so far apart. We have way more pros to continue to talk about than we do if we try to dial it.
Yeah, agreed. I think a lot of times what people misunderstand about mental health is protecting your peace and not doing it. That's called avoidance. That's a symptom, right? Like, that's a coping mechanism. And if you are doing that, if that's not, it might be for that instance that you gotta avoid, right? And say, no, I'm not gonna be in that situation. But eventually, like you said, Buff, I was avoiding crowds because I was uncomfortable. But eventually, I was like, I actually have to manage or handle my mental health, not just avoid the issue so that I don't have to deal with it. I saw a post from a psychiatrist, and what she was saying is mental health isn't avoidance and not being able or just keeping your, everything good and stable. Mental health is being healthy enough to handle the situations when they come. And I think that's where we really need to get down to. It is mental health to avoid you protecting that, but that's the first step. What you need to do is get to where you can be in it. I can go in the crowds and sometimes I get overwhelmed, but now at this point I've gotten to the point where I can cope, right? Or I might just have to step away for a little while and I can go back in or something like that. Like, I have mechanisms where I can get through these large events and these large crowds. And I think that's really ultimately what you want to get to there. And so I do think we overuse it. My kids use the word bullying, and everything's bullying these days. I'm like, that's not bullying, right? If it's not consistent, if it's not happening over time, it's not bullying. They were mean to you. They're not bullying you, right? That's the difference there. Just because somebody did something to you one time does not mean they're bullying you. And so I think that's the same thing with this. It's like, mental health, protecting your mental health isn't just avoiding, because ultimately, yes, you can have mental health and avoid going out and interacting with people because they're mean, blah, 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 blah. But now you're reserved and you're not actually having social interactions and everything like that, which is another issue, right? So you just go from one issue to the other inside of this mental health journey. So you really have to be able to address it and get healthy. When we talk about physical health, right? Like, yeah, you can be like, oh, well, I just won't go do these dangerous things. And so, yeah, I never hurt myself. I don't pull a muscle. I don't break a leg or whatever. But true healthiness is you go work out so that you can run and not pull a muscle, and you can run and not break a bone and everything. You're eating healthy so that, you don't end up with heart disease or whatever. Like, That's true healthy living. And you can just say, oh, I'm not going to eat this, I'm not going to do this, I'm going to do this, but you got to have a holistic approach to it. I think it's the same thing with mental health. You got to have a holistic approach to be really say that you're going through a mental health journey. But that avoidance that people are doing, that's their first step, and that it can be a coping mechanism. And so I do think that is a part of mental health. It's not this thing where it's like it's not protecting your mental health just because you're doing that. It really is, but you got to go further than that. And some people can, some people can't. But we just have to get to the point where we are helping people past that and not letting them stay there where the avoidance is their only option for any type of, issue that they're running into.
Yeah, great answers, fellas. I agree with you 100%. I'll take it a little further. I think in your example with crowds, I mean, that's you truly have a condition. There's anxiety, like there's things that are real, and I'm not addressing those things. I'm kind of even the clip I sent where it was an example of a mother dealing with her daughter being gay and her not wanting to deal with it, and he turned into a mental health journey and all this stuff versus like this is just you don't like this situation and you're using the word mental health to disguise your discomfort and all this stuff. Either you're going to deal with it, you don't have to like that is, I think so many times similar to what you were saying with bullying is we can use buzzwords that make us avoid and bring sympathy and victimization attitude towards ourselves where he's being bullied. No, it's just somebody didn't want to play with him in the day. Like Billy doesn't play with anybody. Billy's an asshole, right? It's just that. And now you're going to, like, well, let's have a teacher conference and all this stuff. And and I'm not downplaying anybody's situation. It's just, are you recognizing stages of life? There are people who aren't going to get along with you. You have to develop the skill set to identify bullying versus somebody who's just not a friendly person, whether you're in danger, whether you're being identifying the real signs versus I don't like this. People in and out of relationships. I'm on my mental health journey. I'm trying to be a better, like, are you just saying that to make an excuse for the things that you aren't doing well? And are you really taking the steps to get better? I think we play with that term so loosely that in your world, Byron, I keep talking about it, but I don't want it to take away from somebody who's really having a crisis where, like everybody's having a mental health day and all this stuff. And you're like, no, this person really needs a mental health day versus, well, I had to take me a mental health day and I want to get my nails done. I'm like, no, you just didn't want to go to work today. Right. That's what it was. And that's okay.
You were tired.
You were
right?
tired.
Like,
you were tired.
Yeah.
As somebody who had to go on FMLA, who was dealing with depression, anxiety, and someone who always considered themselves strong and resilient, right? I can speak on that. And I'm not speaking for everybody. My journey was my journey. Somebody had to tell me I was having a mental health crisis. Somebody had to tell me like, hey, you need to take a break or you're going to break. And I got it. And I'm not making my situation more important than anybody else's. It's just sometimes I don't want to take away the progress we made where we're almost like the boy that cried wolf, where everything's a mental health crisis. Everything is like, I'm working on this, I'm working on that. It's like, okay, cool. Where it's like, hey, he's having
I get it. But I think people, like you say, they blanket so much stuff in there that it used to just be that I need an off day, right? Like I'm tired or I'm stressed, so I need an off day. And so now instead of saying that, they say I need a mental health day, right? Like, because ultimately it is that, right? I've stressed myself out at work. I've worked really, really hard. I've had, just decision fatigue. I need a day that I don't have to think. So for
or I just don't want to go to work today. Like you once again, you're giving an example of somebody who might be working. You're giving you've been in management. You've been there's people like them being at work and them not being at the work. You get the same damn results. And so I'm just saying in general, like I understand what you're saying, but I think we're always you're such a nice guy. You want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, yeah, this person's working hard and they're putting their shift in. It's that person's like, nah, I ain't coming in. Like, I'm taking off at Tuesday. I don't care what they say. I'm not coming in. Right? That's we've seen that situation where somebody really was mad at their employer for saying, hey, I can't give you this day off, and they gonna take it off anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's
got
different.
mad when they got rolled up. Like,
yeah. You know, and I'm going extreme. Like, you both voice your opinion. I'm not trying to sway you. I just want to give a different, pour a little gas on the fire. I think everything both of you guys said is spot on. So let's keep the party going.
No, but I mean, just real quick, I understand what you're saying about it being overused and people just kind of using the word for the smallest things and everything. What I always say though is, and being in HR, I look at it as you got the days or you don't got the days. And so I really don't care what you want to use it for. You can call it mental health. You can be like, it's Fat Tuesday, I ain't coming. Whatever it is, I'm going to get you. You got 5 days unexcused absence to use a year. If you use them, you do. If not, oh well. Once you do that, I'm writing you up. Once you do it again, I'm writing you up again. You do it a third time, I'm terminating you. Right? So like from an HR perspective, and I think that's what a lot of managers have to understand. Stop trying to police everybody. Like you have policies in place for a reason. Follow the policies. And that's why when I terminated people, I didn't care. Like I tell people, I'll terminate you and go have a beer right after. I really don't. It's not an issue for me because you did it. I'm just following the policy there. And so we as society have to stop trying to police the mental health of everybody and if they take off and if they come to work and everything like that. Like for me, I don't care. Like I'm like, take your days, whatever. If you're gonna take those 5 days, if you're gonna work the system and over 12 months I get 5 unexcused absence. And I had an employee that literally the 366th day I knew they were gonna be calling in because as soon as one popped off, they were calling in again because it was like, they knew and they worked the system. And my thing was, meh, I don't care.
Understood. And I don't want to get fixated on, I was just using that as an example. That is not the point of my thing. It's more so, I guess if I had to put a bow on it, it's using mental health or a mental health crisis or mental health as a way to escape accountability of what's going on.
Yeah.
You're not really looking at the real world situation, and you're using that as, because people, like you said, people won't a lot of times people won't challenge that, right? It's messing with my mental health. It's just like, okay, back up, like hands up, like it's one of those things that you can't challenge, right? And so now, if somebody says they're having you can't call in. You like, but I'm looking at you right now on Bourbon Street. You're telling you have a mental health day. We need you. You called in. I didn't approve it. Now I'm looking at you. You're like, you over here, showing your titties and stuff on Bourbon Street. Like it is. Mm-hmm. That's my thing. Like, and I went back to work, but it's just accountable more so to the video. It's like, hey, you have to deal with the fact you just don't like it, right? That's just something that is a you thing, and maybe it's a bias that you have. Maybe it's some stereotypes that you got to deal with. It's a self-search, but don't just blatantly go to this as the escape for you not to have to deal with the accountability behind that.
But even in that though, like again, it's even in that situation, right? That mom has some deep-rooted, like, just isms, right? Like she is against that. And so for her to be like, look, I'm trying, I got to work through this. You can't expect her to accept that from day one, right? Like for somebody, this is her daughter that she has to interact with going forward. Whereas she could completely separate herself from somebody that's gay out in society, right? If it's, somebody at work, I just don't go to lunch with them. I speak to them in the hall and I keep it moving. She doesn't have to interact with them. So for her to be like, oh, now I have to actually interact with a gay person. And so it's some of those things. It is a mental health journey for her to say, I've got to get over that because I love my daughter. I want to interact with her, but I am uncomfortable. Internally, there's something in me that's stopping me from doing that. So it is a mental health issue for her. She has to get over that somehow. And I get what he's saying. He's like, oh, you just don't like it, so get over it. But to get over it, it might take therapy. It might take her doing it. And so that's what I mean. Like it is 100%. It is mental health for her to get to that.
Why can't you just call her homophobic and her be homophobic?
She is homophobic. But
but she is
homophobic.
But in this scenario, it's almost like she's trying to avoid being called homophobic and labeling it as, because now she's not the villain. Like, this is a mental health journey I have to go through. No, you're homophobic. Mm-hmm. Which there's a mental health portion of that, but you're using, like, you just don't want to. You're blanketing all the negative that you're going through, the isms or whatever, and just this blanket term of mental health. Byron sat back in his chair. He doesn't agree with something one of us said. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's me, because that's usually how it goes.
But two things can be true at the same time. I 100% agree with you. She is homophobic, but in order for her to get over that because she loves her daughter, that's the mental health aspect of it.
So, I can believe that 100%.
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. I think I'm good.
No. Come on, man. It's the show. It's the show.
It's not the right term, bro. It's just something more than just a blanket. There is an ism there. There is something that she needs to, and it's okay. Once again, maybe you're 13% homophobic, and it's okay, but you don't want to be labeled that way, right? Like you just want to, like, I can't be seen as negative at all, so I'm gonna use this blanket term that nobody gets to question. I think that's it. That's my word.
The video you showed us, like, the dude was like, you guys are okay when it's not in your immediate family. I'm thinking, isn't that usually how it goes? I mean, like, we try to be accepting of all things. That doesn't necessarily mean you want it for, your immediate household. So I thought he was making a point that was already known. But yeah, man, that was good stuff. Hey, so we can keep it serious, or we can lighten it up. What kind of question you got?
Me? I got a little serious, but I think it'll be fun.
Let me guess. It's short. It shouldn't take too long.
This one, I doubt this one will be short. It could be, but we'll see.
That means it's good. So it's pretty good then.
Well, we were actually in a group, and I don't know if y'all remember. I was like, "Hey, let's remember this for the show." And so we were talking about dirty macking.
That was mine. Damn. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, let's do it. All right. Cool. Let's go for it. Okay. So yeah, so both of us, it's me and Buff questioned it at this point. Yeah. So Buff brought it up, I think, in the group. Was that you that posted it or somebody else?
I think it was
Buff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cam Newton.
Yeah. So somebody, he was with, was it Trey Songz?
Trey Songz.
Yeah, he was interviewing Trey Songz, and Trey Songz talked about dirty Mac, and he was like, he told Cam, if you're a side dude and you are whispering in the chick ear, he can't do it like me, yada yada yada. He was like, that's dirty macking. And Cam was like, what? No, that's not dirty macking. And so I want to ask you fellas, is that dirty macking? And what would you consider, if it's not, what would you consider? What's the level? Like, what makes it dirty macking?
Well, I want to be clear. If he's the side dude, then he's beyond dirty macking.
That's not dirty macking.
He's smashing your lady.
But then he also said he knew, you might even know the dude.
Yeah, so I think what needs to be clearly defined is, because I looked at dirty macking as, the dude, like, y'all might not be boys, but you know the dude, and you in his girl's ear saying how much better you could be and all that kind of stuff. Versus, I think some people brought up, if it's your boy, then that's dirty. I'm like, if it's your boy, that's snake behavior.
That ain't dirty macking.
That's not dirty macking. That's snake behavior right there.
Yeah.
And then the third scenario is if you don't know the guy at all, but she's told you she got a man or she's married or whatever. Is that dirty macking if you're like, man, but I can do so much better. I can do this. I could do that. He got you out here working. Look, your nails ain't even done. See, all that'll be take care of you with me. Is that dirty macking, or is it just when you know the other guy?
My definition is very simple. If I had to put down another nigga to impress a chick, then it's dirty macking. It's just like, my thing is, I'm confident enough in myself that I can talk about me and you without talking about him. I don't talk about other dudes. Never did. Well, I don't talk about other dudes now because I'm married. But I've never talked about, like, I don't believe in that. Like, it's just, I don't even want to think about him. Yeah. The best, like, my thing is, the only thing I need to know is where he was going to be at. Right? Right? Like, if that's it. I mean, in proximity, maybe it was dirty Mac, because I mean, like, in a place like fam, everybody know everybody, right?
Everybody knows everybody, yeah. So
but it's not like, yeah, man, it might be levels to this. Now that I think about it,
it's definitely it's like a dirty Mackin umbrella.
Because I think about, like, I've not talking about me specifically, but I've seen situations. I've seen hypothetically where Rozzy's doing his thing with old girl. girl got a boyfriend. You kind of know her boyfriend. He might be a Kappa, Alpha, random dude on a football team. But you don't know him like that. Y'all ain't hanging out like you ain't you ain't playing basketball and stuff together. But you know him well enough to know he got hoes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like it is what it is. And he know you well enough to know you got things going on. He's probably assuming it's not with your lady, his lady.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because his lady love him and she's pure and all that stuff, whatever. But if that is true, I have been around Dirty Mackin, put it that way.
I'll take that exact situation and I will I think that shows the nuance of what I say is Dirty Mackin. In that situation, if I say I can move you better than he can,
why are we talking about him?
I don't feel like that's Dirty Mackin. That's just me saying I don't know, right? I don't know if he's putting it down or not or whatever. So that's a comparative thing, right?
What
like
is that? Nope.
I can take you to the moon, baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? That I think is normal
it's
Mackin to
lame.
me. It's like I'm
why
gonna push.
Why would you have to say that?
I'm just saying. I'm not saying I'm saying. I'm saying I feel like that's not Dirty Mackin. I feel like it's Dirty Mackin. I feel like it's Dirty Mackin if I said, because you said I know he got hoes. If I told her he got hoes so that I can be with her, that's Dirty Mackin. I feel like if you're snitching on him, if you're putting him down,
that's snitching. No, that's different. That's a whole nother level.
That's what I look at as Dirty Mackin. It's like you are trying to break them up. You're actively, even if you say something like, you know, I don't know why you with him, girl. I don't know why. Like, at that point, you're trying to break them up. You're trying to separate them. You're trying to get yourself a wedge in based on that. That's what I feel like is Dirty Mackin. But comparing and saying, yo, I'm more successful than him, he ain't got money like me or whatever, I don't feel like that's Dirty Mackin. I feel like that's just making your case, right? Like, that is me having the conversation saying, yes, I'm better than him, whatever. So that's the difference there. I don't mind that. I don't feel like that's Dirty Mackin. You can call it simping, you can call it whatever, but I don't feel like that's dirty, right? Like, I feel like that is just you putting it out there that compare, hey, you can choose me or not. It's the Mac, right? Goldie is like, hey, your chick chose me. How's she gonna choose me if she don't feel like I'm better?
But she chose.
You
he
can
didn't have to.
You can show her you better without mentioning the guy.
Then only reason Goldie said is because dude approached him and he's like, "Hey, you know how this go?" Yeah, like it's not like he was whispering like, "Hey, this is a podcast. Everybody's entitled to their opinion."
It's clear everyone has a nuanced difference. I think the baseline, though, is when you begin to bring up the other guy and you have to talk down on him in order to prop yourself up. That's a level of Dirty Mackin. But I think the most famous example of Dirty Mackin is what Derek Fisher and Matt Barnes, right? Mm-hmm. They were former teammates. I think Derek Fisher was his head coach at one time, and he's smashing like his ex-wife, baby mama, whatever like that. And it's like, you know, there's a certain code, like, yo, we were brothers in this fraternity called NBA, and you go and do that. So, and like, I don't know if Derek Fisher was talking down on Matt Barnes. So maybe the talking down doesn't even matter. Like, it seems like everyone has their definition with like slight differences, because I say Joe, the R&B singer, was one of the biggest Dirty Mackin singers of all time. If you listen to his songs, most of them R&B cats are like that though. He can't love you like I can't. Like, it's R&B is filled with that R&B. So it was funny to see Trey Songz kind of like school Cam on it, because it's like, man, you from a genre that all y'all do is Dirty Mac.
But Cam mentioned a song of his though.
Yeah, he's like, he had to, hey, that's just music. That's just music. He right. Talking about real life.
Yeah. And I agree with him there, right? It's like, hey, I ain't even write that song. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm singing the song because it's a hit. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. Because like Trey Songz has assumed chicks that come to his concert probably have a dude. Chicks that's backstage probably like. I'm singing in general. Like, I'm not talking specifically about Jim McDonald. I'm not talking about Buddy. I'm just talking in general. Mm-hmm. You know, like, because Rozzy, in your scenario, could you have moved her without saying that? Like, is that the like? Well, he probably could mess with me harder than my boyfriend. Okay, that's it. That was the deciding factor.
I almost think so, but I mean, it's one of those things. Y'all in it or whatever. I've been a side dude, and like, even after, like I didn't have to say it then, but it's, you know, you just be like, hey, I'm about to beat it up, like, because I know you ain't getting it at home, like, you know what I'm saying?
It was good until you said.
I mean, if you're the side dude, there's
There's
no need for dirty Mackin.
Yeah, like you are
unless you want her to be your lady, and why you want her to be your lady when she's already shown she'll cheat?
It's foreplay. We sitting there, we chit chatting it up or whatever. You know, you trying to get her worked up. That's all it is. It's like, you know, getting her excited
by talking about her dude. Lord,
because I ain't gonna lie, it's a little fun when you decide, dude. Like, oh, let me stop. See, I don't want to put all that out there.
You Splackabellian over here.
What'd you say, Ferg? Everybody got
Splackabellian, man. I mean, I guess I just the worst I would ever do was I would call him that nigga. Like, so, you about to go, you know, you gotta go leave, you gotta go holler at that nigga right now. Like that, you know, like I wouldn't even say his name.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy, you know, just kind of,
yeah.
But that's about it. Not me. I'm just saying I've heard people say that.
Yeah, I agree though. Like, disparaging him at all is dirty. Like that. Like, anytime you talk down on him, it's an
extreme view is when hollering at a woman, you really almost don't need to ask if she has a man. You don't need to ask that. If she don't let you know, then clearly she's more interested in you, and you are becoming the better person that she's currently seeing. Because if a woman is happy in a relationship, she, thank you, I'm with someone, or I'm married, or whatever. Like, you almost don't even have to ask.
I advise you ask, because, you know, people still can lose their life over not enough information. Well, I didn't know. Well, my apologies.
I got you.
My apologies.
And so I want to piggyback on that then is, like, they got all those videos of these guys, like, approaching the women with, like, right next to their guy or whatever, and then the guy doesn't react fast enough or whatever, and the girl gets mad at him for, like, not saying, like, stepping in or whatever. Have y'all seen some of these?
I've seen those videos.
Like, the dude like see a couple, right? And they're like maybe at a grocery store, and they're right next to each other. So as a guy, you don't necessarily know if they're together or they just like roommates or whatever, brother, sister, whatever. They just in a kind of store together or whatever. And then you're like, the person that's recording will walk up and, like, you know, start hitting on the girl or whatever. Like, the guy may not react. Like, would you guys react in that? Like, if a dude walked up and, like, tried to holler at Z while y'all were just kind of standing around, would you, like, react, or would you let her handle it or whatever?
Try to holler at, or just, like, wait, we need to be clear on some things. Is he, like, asking, hey, do you know where they keep the Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
No, he's like, you are so beautiful, like, you know what I'm saying, can I get your Instagram, whatever. He trying to holler at her, and, like, you right there, like, are you stepping in, or do you expect your wife, like you said, to be like, or your lady to be like, nah, I'm good?
That's a great question, because you do want to, especially at our age, you do want to have that delicate balance of where you're not overreacting to where you're in handcuffs or possibly getting in some legal trouble for overreacting to something that could have been handled a different way. But at the same time, I mean, that's disrespect. And I know you're saying that he could be looking at it as you guys are brother and sister. Nah, dog. You see a man and a woman together, you need to assume they are together. Right. And until some concrete information come out, for you to approach a woman like that, dog, you asking for a fade. You asking for a fade.
I agree with you as a almost 45-year-old man who has discernment. I'm not gonna be the guy, so I might have to backtrack on my dirty macking. Mine was strategic, though. Mm-hmm. You remember my line, Razzie?
Which one?
I like your lady.
Oh yeah. Talking to the dude. Hey, he'll tell the dude, I like your lady.
Yeah, man, dog, but shout out to you, brother. Great job, man. The way you moved out of that, man. You got to go, man. I like your lady, man. Oh, that's my cousin. Oh, bet. So, you know, or if he said appreciate it, thank you. Because, hey, man, doing good, man. Y'all looking good. Hey,
that's different from Razio's scenario.
Huh?
That's different from a Razio scenario.
No, I was saying I've done that, but it was a way to find out. It made me think of it. It made me think. Like, I didn't just like, hey, la man, move. You know, it was a, you know, like even today, like when I see Black Love, like you're like, that's a good looking couple, like they look good together, whatever. appreciating it and being able to say, man, like, hey, especially in today's world, if I was still that dude, I'd be like, hey, man, the way women move and look like, man, because we got a quality woman on your arm, good shit, brother. I'm talking to you. I ain't even addressing her. Like, hey, man, this was 22, 24, 25-year-old Ferg doing this, and it worked. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and y'all lock out, especially like you say, especially if you're
it was
a
never
circle.
like just a push out the way. But the only reason I brought that up is not the exact same scenario as Razi, but it could be almost dirty macking because I wasn't trying to holler at his lady if that was his lady. I'm not putting him down.
I'm gonna say it's good that never led to fisticuffs, but even that approach could create a tense situation to where you do it to the wrong brother, you're gonna find yourself in a scrap over a woman that you can find 10 others just like, and it's not worth it.
Well, I don't do it anymore, bro.
Not you. I'm just saying anybody who's thinking of doing that.
Listeners out there that are hearing this, say like, that's a good line. Yeah. I'm gonna try that. Like,
try that if you want to, especially on the wrong day. You might get.
Yeah, but back to the actual question though, is if a guy did something like that, tried to holler at your lady while y'all together, do you step in instantly or do you let her handle it? And if he like continues on, like you say, it becomes complete disrespect at that point. Like, it's almost like that nigga, like y'all together, but I'm still trying to holler at you. And at that point, are you stepping in? Like, there are women like on those posts or on those videos, there are women that are mad because the guy doesn't automatically step in, and the guys are like, I was waiting for you to say I got a man and see what he does, right? Like, I didn't want to like step in instantly because it's like he's addressing you. Let me see what you do.
Well, I look like my situation. Like now, I'm not talking about what I was talking about. Like in today, I've been married for 13 years. I've been with my wife. I've known my wife over 17 years. There's no need for me to test the waters. No need for me to test and see what she's going to say. I know how she's going to react. Z is a cool, calm person. So she's going to try to handle it. She knows me. She knows I'm cool and calm until I'm not cool and calm. But at the same time, she knows I'm very analytical too. And we have a lot to lose. So Z doesn't expect me to act out. Like the morning after, you picking me up from the police station because I'm jumping on a dude because if you didn't tell him you had that's a bigger problem. It's more so, I wouldn't think she wouldn't like, nigga, why are you out here fighting over me? Like, you got me. Like that's the type person. If your woman is expecting you to fight, that's a different situation. Now, if he got disrespectful to her, like when he's grabbing on her or something like that, all bets. Like now it's not my ego. I'm truly protecting my wife. And as y'all all know, my wife is the most important person in the world to me. So all bets off. But that's different than a dude, like, because in my mind, like, what kind of nigga at this day and age, it ain't I like your lady, it's, watch out, little man. Like, he has nothing to lose. Like, he knows something I don't know right now, and I need to figure out what's going on, right? Because this is what he's been waiting on all day, right? He been waiting for this type, right? Like, it's what normal guy, like you just said, like, even the situation I gave, which was a lot lesser.
Yeah.
You like, we might have to throw blows. And you're like, nah, dog, she with me. Yeah. The Martin and the Martin episode with was that Tommy Hearns?
Oh yeah,
that might have been. Yeah.
He's like, go on, look, man. Like, like we about to ride in a limo and all that stuff. Like that is a whole nother. That's a whole nother level of disrespect. But that dude also was a former heavyweight champion, right? So me jumping, like, there has to be more to this situation. He knows that he can beat anybody, 99.9% of niggas in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes a dude like that, or he's carrying, or he has nothing to lose. He about to turn himself in tomorrow. He knows something that I know with the little money I make and my wife and my kids and my house and my life that I live, that is not worth losing over him and whatever he's got, because you have to have nothing to lose.
So to be clear, you would let her handle it at first, but you're not on no wait and see type.
No. Because I know there's nothing to wait and see.
Yeah.
You're like,
you just know
Tab you ain't like, I wonder what she gonna say. You've been with Tab since you just made a post since 1995. Nigga, y'all in there like swimwear. Like she's there's nothing you have to see. Right?
I want to be clear to the listeners too. The scenario Ferg gave what he used to do when he was young. The reason why that could lead to fisticuffs is because, nigga, I don't need you to tell me my wife is good, and I that's why I married her.
It was never a wife type thing. It was like
on my face. I'm just saying because a lot of listeners our age, if you're thinking about doing that, I'm telling you.
Yeah. No, these people weren't married. These people were married. Yeah. This is we're at a Buffalo Wild Wings and they're sitting at a table together, and it's like, okay, because you got to think, I could be hanging out with Alexis, Gabby, Teja. You done met some of my female friends. Like you hanging out with Allison. Like you and Allison probably have kicked it just like, and it's just a dude's like, okay. That's the kind of environment we're in where it's not all couples. It's not like it's not a date night. They holding hands and walking down the street, blowing in each other's ears, whatever the hell they do. It's a chill type, like we're you got to be at fam or being around a situation to understand, like it was just people kicking. It was like, so how do I see this?
Yeah, and that's why I say like guys will do it. Like you got to think, you and Teja going in the store, y'all like at the wine rack or whatever, about to get some wine or whatever, a box of wine for the party, and dude walk up and try to holler at Teja, right? Like that could happen. And so that's why I was like, these videos of these chicks getting mad because their guy isn't automatically jumping in, I think is the real what I wanted to point out.
But
for the
that's
listeners
still
out
disrespectful
there.
Though, because I came in with a question and trying to fill out the situation. I had
It's definitely disrespectful, but what I'm saying is the girls are getting mad at the guys for not automatically like, that's my lady, you know what I'm saying, and bucking up to the dude instead of just letting her be like, no, I got a man. This is my boyfriend.
The question is, how would Tabitha expect you to respond, Byron? In 2025.
I think Tabitha thinks I have a temper, so she tries to handle things without me. I think I told y'all about what happened.
That's why I asked.
So I don't have a bad temper though. It's better.
No, you are protective. you are. Believe I feel like you're probably the most protective out of the three of us.
Really?
Okay.
Really?
In not a bad way. Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah. Because I probably got the worst temper out of us three. So that's the crazy part about it. Like, I go from 0 to 100. So I probably got the worst temper, but I can see that. But that's all. I wanted to ask that question, or like the continuation of the question, because of that. Like, there's so many folks out there that just kind of fly off the handles. And just coming from us who have been in these situations that I kept a baddie, as Leah likes to say. Like, I always had a baddie. And so, like, me being in the club and her going up to the bar and a dude trying to holler at her, like I've had friends that if that happens, they're gonna walk up to the bar and be like, yo, what's going on? La da da da. And I just shit back, I'm like, she gonna say yes or no. Like, she gonna say no and she come back. If he like tries to hold on to her or whatever, that's where I'm gonna step in. So stop, guys. Or ladies, stop expecting guys to fly off the handles. Fellas, please don't fly off the handle when these types of things happen. Because, like Ferg said, you end up, in jail or something like that just based off of like these little random incidents.
That means you don't care about me either. I look at it that way. Like, if you expect me to just, I think the way you said it, Byron, like Tabitha knows she wants to protect you from you. Like, you should be like, look, my nigga crazy. Get the fuck away from me. It might just be that, right?
That's funny. Leah, when we were on the Virgin Cruise, she told some dude that she's like, my nigga's right there, and him and his boys don't play. Y'all need to get away from us quick, because like that was him. Oh, it was her and Z. They were at the bar, and it's like you like popped up and like right after she said it to the guys. So the guys were like, "Oh, let us go," and like they started looking back at us like, they were scared or whatever. But that's what I expect to happen, right? It's like them like, nope. You better get away from us because it might go on if you continue on down this path. That's what I expect for the woman to do in those situations where these guys walk up. It's like, no, get on because it's about to go on.
Yeah, it says a lot about both of you as people. Like Z knows I will protect her when she needs protecting. I don't think any woman on any of our women will think that they will not be protected.
I'm glad you used that word too. I think too many women think protection looks like violence from us for them. And it's not always. I remember first, I don't know if you posted the video, but there was a video of McDonald's. It was at McDonald's. And this white customer, like, I think grabbed the black girl, the cashier. And like the brother came from behind the cashier. He just broke it up. He didn't start wailing on the dude. He was like, hey man, nah, you need to go. And like women were in the comments like, where's the protection? Y'all don't protect us. And I remember you saying, he did protect her. He de-escalated the situation. You don't always have to go in there and beat someone to a pulp for it to be protection. Like I'm assuming that's not his lady. That's just a coworker. So he did what I think was a reasonable thing to do.
Because he probably had a crazy black woman at home. He's like, lose your job fighting for her. You know, I ain't like that bitch no way. And all of a sudden, you know, jokes, people, jokes. You know, black women stick together.
Right.
But you know, it's. I always look at the movie. What was it with Terrence Howard and
Best Man?
No. Where the police stopped the.
Crash.
Crash, yeah. I always go back to that movie, and it was such a because we were still in. I was still in Tallahassee, maybe even in college then, and we had a forum about Crash, and it was very interesting to hear how women thought about that and the lack of protection and all this stuff. And it was kind of like, y'all and this is a whole nother conversation, but like romanticize about protection.
Mm-hmm.
This knight in shining armor where nigga end up dead or in jail, and now you're married with someone, like he got a picture of you in the corner and you've moved on, right? Yep. Maybe you got a tattoo of me, like my name or something. That might be as good, but you know, you got a slimy, grimy dude that like the Dirty Mac. He don't care that you got my name tattooed on your back or whatever. Like it's to him, that's all fun, you know. Right. So.
And especially with Crash, a cop that'll do that will definitely shoot my ass for coming over there trying to say something.
He was waiting. He was waiting. So, let's go ahead and wrap it on up. Good show.
Man, I enjoyed this one. The only thing I got is mention them at the beginning of the show when we were talking about Woo, but Contentville, what up? You can check us out on the Inspire You on Air app via Contentville. You also can check us out on all podcast platforms. Subscribe to us, Three Brothers No Sense. The shutdown is over, and I know that upset a lot of people on the left. That upset people that I'm friends with, that I'm family with. I was out there doing battle with a lot of people like, listen, unless you have missed a check for the last 40 days, I don't want to hear about how you want them to continue to fight. You can say that's a selfish way to look at it, but listen, man, if you're not missing a paycheck, then yeah, it's easy for you to tell them to keep fighting. So if we all was missing paychecks and y'all was telling them to keep fighting, I can respect that. If you missed a paycheck and you still wanted them to keep fighting, I can respect that. But if you still getting paid, go ahead. Because the time to fight, as I said time and time again, was last November. Okay? Last November was the time to fight. You can't give one party all the power and then whine, bitch, and moan about the powerless party not fighting enough. You ain't fight enough, Dearborn, Michigan. You ain't fight enough, Pennsylvania. You ain't fight swing states that didn't vote for Harris. Y'all ain't fight. So that's all I got on that, man. Other than that, Rising stole my thunder for Big Beautiful Bill. No, Ferg stole my thunder for Big Beautiful Bill. So I was gonna close with that, but yeah.
I was just wait to talk about the.
It has a new meaning now. It has a new meaning. So
it does.
That's all I got.
Only thing I got kind of to piggyback on this whole, you know, you get the day you voted for, and it's the SNAP recipients out there. We know that more Republican leaning states have more SNAP recipients and everything like that, but SNAP benefits was a huge contention point during the shutdown. And now that the shutdown's over, what they're saying and what the USDA is saying is that everybody has to reapply. And so that is huge for a lot of people that were just barely on it, right? And so now you got to go in and reapply, and so you got to go through those hoops, and you got to go to find an interview, because a lot of folks think that you can just apply for SNAP benefits and you get them. It's like a whole interview process, and so that's going to slow down a lot of payments again, maybe even miss another month based on that. And when you think about now, you got to take off work and you got to find a way, and there's people that don't have, to get there and everything like that, there's going to be a lot of people left behind based off of that, trying to get those SNAP benefits back. Ultimately, like we said, have the day you voted for, because a lot of y'all brought it on yourselves.
I forgot about that. And was it, just to clarify, it's everybody has to reapply?
Mm-hmm. All SNAP benefits have to reapply.
Need someone to keep track on the percentage of people denied in blue states versus red states when this reapplying occurs, because it's not beyond this administration. We've seen the disdain they have for blue states, and that's something that can happen. And I hope there's a Democrat or somebody that's keeping track of that and can call that out if that begins to happen.
And break down by race.
You'll sit down. You'll see it soon if it's problematic, because you're going to see a commercial within the next 2 to 3 months. If you were on SNAP benefits before the government shutdown in 2025 and you did not receive your SNAP benefits when you reapplied, please call this number one. It's going to be a class action lawsuit.
It's going to be a class action lawsuit. Yeah,
it's going to happen.
I can see that.
Great point is going to happen. That I will keep the party going with that same conversation. The government shutdown is over. Asterisk. Because how soon do we have to get this back together? When
90 can days, I think. The CR was only 90 days.
So we January? Have by the end of January? End of February?
End of February 1, I think, end of January.
We could be in the same boat. I just want to say that again. By the end of January, we can be in the same boat. And just a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about how many people would be affected by going into the holiday season with limited pay, limited or no pay, SNAP benefits and stuff like that. I'm going to urge you guys to play it smart. All this holiday stuff is a capitalistic just nightmare. It doesn't benefit you. Your family knows you love them. Play it smart. Save, invest, do whatever you need to do. Get your paperwork in order. Go get an interest-free credit card. Play the game right now to set yourself up for success in case you have to maneuver funds again. I don't put it past this administration to have you in the exact same situation going forward. So don't go out and buy a new Switch 2. Don't go spend all your money on Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that stuff. I hate to be the person to tell you that and not to enjoy your holiday, but I want you to enjoy your year and not because in a normal year, Americans go so far in debt during the holiday season, not to mention what's going on with the current government. And then you add tariffs and all that stuff, which is a whole nother conversation. Be careful. Three brothers, no sense try to warn you. With that being said, 6 Rules Podcast. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week.